Good morning to all of you on 20th October 2020, and it is a seventh session of India's biggest knowledge sharing series, and which is possible only because of the contribution from all our faculties. One of them, one of the experts, is here with us today. I was just looking, in the profile of her and kind of figuring out as to how should I introduce her in a very crisp manner. And then I found out that today is 2010, 2020, and she also has contributed in more than 20 plus industries in terms of impacting on human beings first, and then on employees, and then on different levels in terms of behavior, in terms of branding, in terms of how do they carry themselves and get the best out of their own life. And today's subject is also employee branding. So without much ado, I would like to, directly want my viewers to get connected with none other than Rupali Gautam. She would be taking us through employee branding today. So Rupali, welcome to our seventh session, and the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Ankit. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to interact with all of you. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Ankit. So it's just that I quickly want to ask all of you, when we speak about this term called as employee branding, we have often come across, there are so many things that we see, in terms of right from buying a smallest thing like a pen, a simplest thing like a pen, to even like if you have to buy a luxury car or probably a house, everything is branded today. So here in this world of the complete branding era, what is it that I would be speaking about in terms of employee branding? So let's, without any ado, let's start with the concept of employee branding. So here, let me just share with all of you that this is a concept which is very close to me, and I have been working with a lot of corporate and organization in terms of the employee branding. So let's begin with our session in terms of what we understand by employee branding. So if I just have to ask all of you, when we speak about this buying of any product or buying of any service, we typically come across a lot of ads, or we come across a lot of marketing that is being done, which is a continuous bombardment of advertisements. There is a lot of brainwashing which is being done, and then somewhere kind of it creates that interest, it creates a lot of inquisitivity within us, and that's how we get attracted, and we have a tendency to go and have a look at their product or that particular service. However, when we speak about when you visit that particular store or that particular shop, is it that you come across the celebrities who were endorsing these particular products or brands, or you come across real people? So that's where this concept of employee branding comes into picture. I have seen a lot of organization putting a lot of emphasis in terms of marketing, getting a lot of celebrities to endorse their products, to have speak about through the customer's perspective, speaking about the feedback, speaking about how they can enhance their product, how they could create a complete customer centric kind of kind of an experience. But when we speak about the real interaction in our real world which happens is through an employee who works in your organization, an employee who is going to speak about that product, who's going to speak about your service to the customer. There are a lot of things that probably the topmost probably the CEOs or the directors who have a vision for their company, who have in fact invested a lot of time, energy, efforts to give a direction, to channelize their thoughts and probably set a goal to reach there. But you are not the one who would be heading towards it all alone. There is a group, there is a team who stands with you, who helps you, who assists you to reach towards that goal that we want to achieve. So here the concept of employee branding is in terms of creating your employees as your true brand ambassadors. So the way we have been focusing creating a complete customer centric culture, equally important is how do we create that employee branding culture in our organization. So like we said, employees are, if you see, they are the company's greatest and the biggest asset and if we start investing in them wisely and creating that kind of culture for them, it definitely in long run creates a huge impact even to the business of an organization. So here, like we were saying, branding, it's not just merely when we speak about that, what people speak about you or probably an organization when it's there, when certain things are presented, but also branding is a concept where when you are not around, what is it that people speak about you, what is it that people talk about when your presence is not there but your thoughts are there, the impact that you have left on the minds of people. So here, in terms of the concept of employee branding, this becomes very, very important in terms of imbibing the organizational brand values within the employees, aligning them with the organizational culture and making them the true brand ambassadors of the organization. So when we talk about these terms, in term, how is it that we could create them the true brand ambassadors? It's like you keep them motivated, you align them, there is a growth path defined for them, there are certain thoughts that you align. So when the interaction is happening, there is a lot of training which has been given to the employees for understanding the product, how to speak, the behavioral concept, the body language, the communication, the grooming aspect, and how to present, but at the same time aligning their thoughts, aligning their career, and then creating a path which helps not just the organization but also an employee. You brand them in such a way that irrespective, even like when they're there with your organization, they take that esteem pride in owning the organization, in being a part of your organization. That is the concept of employee branding. So here, why is it important, why employee branding has become so crucial? Because like I said, when the customers probably they look at the advertisements, they look at the endorsements which are being done by these youth celebrities, and that's how they come and they engage with your organization through the store format, or probably they go ahead. The online presence is something which has become so impactful now. So that's where the interaction happens. However, the organization's employees who are there, who would be interacting with them, that is where the customer has a first impression created by the employees who are interacting with them. How do they respond? How is it that they greet a customer? That's merely just a first parameter to building the entire experience, which we focus from the customer's experience point of view. At the same time, for to be for an employee who has been associated with your organization, are they carrying your brand, whether they are able to manage their reputation in an impactful manner, whether they are motivated, whether they are really someone who own this particular brand, they understand and they feel what the luxury, even if it's a luxury product or if it's like some even a small product or a service that someone is offering. But branding is something which becomes very, very crucial. And at the same time, when employees are having a focus and they behave like true brand ambassadors for an organization, it's very, very crucial for us as an organization to also retain them, so that these are the ones who, the way we have customers speak good about about your product and they give ratings. The same time, the organizational culture which is there, these are the employees who are going to speak about their experience, how is it that they have been, finding their career growing with your organization, how is it that they have related in terms of their growth, be it, not just professional, but also because we are, human beings, and we have various circles attached to us, but also how is it that it's impacting their personal life. All these are certain things which are related with each other. And at the same time, because they have had a wonderful experience, and when you brand them, when you showcase them, this also assists in attracting the right kind of the talent that the organization would look for, and at the same time securing, that's very very important. There are so many organization, in fact, which spend a lot of their money, time, investing so many new things to make an employee reach at a certain position. However, maybe after 2 to 3 months or 6 months down the line, if an employee leaves an organization, it's just like we are not able to reach to the goal, reach to create that impact that we were looking for, and somewhere the attrition levels become very very high. Here, most of the time, then the organization investing in terms of just training and making these employees trying to run the show. So here, instead of doing this, if we could also identify and what are the challenges, and to create that transparency, to create that culture which is comforting for the employees, it also creates that trust levels of the employees within the organization. So here, what are the benefits which we speak about when we talk about this employee branding? First and foremost, your employees become loyal to you. They are extremely loyal for the organization that they're working for, which is at times, a very rare factor which we see. It's very easy for people now, with a fresh talent coming in picture, to jump from one organization to the other, and merely like just trying to go from one position to the other. However, when we speak about if you brand them at the initial stage of their careers, and if you're able to kind of align them with the thought process of the organizational culture, these are the people who are ready to invest and have like a secure future over a period of time. And at the same time, it's a win-win situation for both, for the employee as well as for the organization, which creates a business impact, in fact, in the long run. Also, depending upon how long the employees are associated with you, and what sort of the employee experience you have created through your organization, also assist in building a very positive brand reputation for your organization. And that's something which where if we hear few companies, and the moment somebody speaks about, oh, you're working for this, oh yeah, that's a wonderful organization. So even if like it's immense pride, it's not necessary always that you have to work with huge brands which are already established. But at the same time, even if I have to just appeal to there are a lot of startups which are coming in. There are a lot of people who in fact are building great organizations. If you start imbibing these values, these thought processes from the mere beginning with the employees who are joining you, you would see that eventually there is a very very strong bonding. There is a very very strong alignment which happens of and eventually, like be it the CEO or the director who's running, along with that, right from the freshly joined staff member, is also someone who's aware that how is it that I need to channelize my thought process. So building a positive brand reputation, and at the same time creating that great employee experience, So customer experience, definitely we have, a lot of things which speak about developing that wow experience for the customers, taking feedbacks, understanding, and doing a lot of things. But at the same time, if we start focusing on these elements which also create a wow experience for the employees, we surely are able to work on a lot of those small concepts, those small probably hitches which we can overcome easily, and create a very different experience for our employees. At the same time, when we speak about communication, most of the conflicts or most of kind of disagreements in an organization happens because there is a lot of communication gap. There is a lack of communication, or probably the channel of communication is very abrupt, where there are times where people are not able to openly express themselves, or kind of there is a hindrance. So here, with when the employees are branded in a correct format, it also assists to have that clear communication in throughout the organization. So be it like from the topmost to the bottommost person in the hierarchy, or at the same time from bottom to the step by step, it's very easy for people to connect and to express, and in a positive manner, in an assertive manner. And at the same time, the communications becomes very, very transparent. So that is also one benefit in terms of the employee branding. So yes, when we speak about the loyalty, building a positive brand, a great experience for the employees, and clear organizational communication, these are few parameters which are as an outcome of the employee branding. Now, when we speak about what is it that we focus in the employee branding program, so a few elements that are focused through this particular program is imbibing the organizational mission, values, and instilling the brand message in the minds of the employees. So in the very beginning, so when we speak about the training, and there is I have interacted with few organizations where the training happens probably when an employee joins, and when they have an interaction, they are probably made aware of, okay, this is how organization is, this is what you're expected, these are your roles and goals and everything. And over a period of time, maybe like 6 months, 1 year, slowly and steadily, because then the employee are kind of involved in the work pressure, or there is it becomes kind of monotonous. And then whatever was being taught in the training program kinds of it starts fading away. So here, this through this program, we also ensure not just for the people who are joining fresh in the organization, but also someone who has been there with us over a certain period of time. It's like upgrading each and every member, or each and every employee, or making them aware that what is it that we are doing new, what is it that we have introduced new. Because when you're working, especially for the bigger organizations, it cannot be that only people who are catering to a certain product are aware of these things, and the rest of the people, like staff members, maybe someone who's from an operations department, or someone who is from a back end, maybe is not even aware that what is it that people are talking about. So this becomes like a gap. So when probably there is when there is a new strategy which is introduced, or there is something, a new concept which is introduced, it's very important that all the people are aligned and they're aware of what is happening. So a consistency is required. This also is related with the clarity that you have in the organizational communication, the consistency, the commitment of the employees in the communication. And that's where the entire branding becomes very, very strong. So here, if I just have to talk about like an experience where a customer comes probably with a query, or has a concern which has been, typically that we see that it is raised through a customer service department, or like where if there is any challenge, if I visit probably a store or place where I had gone, usually we get an answer, sir, I'm not the one who looks into it, and we have a separate department who would get in touch with you. So here, kind of the experience that you were trying to create for a customer also kind of breaks, because uh, here again, that faith which was instilled, when when probably the salesperson of the organization was trying to tell that, whatever is the concern, we are there. Probably when the sales happen, we definitely speak about, yes, we are there. But eventually post sales, when there is an interaction happens, to create that experience throughout, we really can't say that, you will have to go here or there. So your ownership becomes very, very important. Taking pride, and at the same time, empathizing with the customer, taking that ownership and trying the best way to focus on how is it that I can give that solution to that customer and try to put a closure to it. That is what is required. But this, however, would come only when the employee A is aware of the mechanisms. At the same time, the employee is motivated, and at the same time takes immense pride that whatever happens, all of us are one. So I really can't say that, this is not something that my department looks into, or this is the other department who will get back to you. So even if it's there, creating like a single point of contact, or looking at, even if I've raised a query, or even if I've put across, probably I'm not able to give a solution upfront, but at the same time, it's like, I give an end-to-end solution. Even the customer comes to me, and I raise a solution. At the same time, I ensure that the loop is getting closure, so that the customer knows that, yes, whatever happens, this brand, this organization is there with me, they are going to stand with me. So that's a kind of confidence that you build, when the employees are also taking immense pride and ownership in, when they are interacting with the customer, and they are motivated enough. So that's one element. The second aspect that we speak through the employee branding is also how one looks at, representing the brand through their employees. So we have various organizations who comes with various organizational cultures. For instance, if we interact typically with a financial institute, they have more like, where the entire culture is very, very formal. If we speak like as someone who is like from a startup background, it could be like, a very casual, very fun loving kind of organizational culture. So it depends upon, where your customer is going to interact. It's very important for us to create that boundary, and create that channel, that what are, how is it that we would be representing our employees, not just in the manner, in the parameters of what the employee is going to wear, but also, so that's a part of the appearance. When I speak about appearance, it's in terms of your clothes, your dressing and the grooming factors, but also in terms of behavior. How is it that, one your employee is going to behave, and how is it that you want to position yourself in a certain parameter, the communication parameters which are there. Even like, if since social media presence has become so important, and especially now there is a lot of interaction for, even for organizations, that is happening on virtual platforms, right from, if we speak about, creating sales, or providing customer solutions, everything has become digital, and everything is moving online. So here, even the digital footprint that we create for our employees is going to make a huge impact. And definitely the etiquette, how they are going to position themselves, how they are going to interact, and how is it that they would be communicating with the customers. So here, when we speak about specifically in terms of the footprint, is also, or if the slightest example is when an employee puts him or herself on a social media, the kind of posts that they do, the kind of interaction that they have. I'm not really talking about the rest, probably there are so many social media platforms, but when we speak about putting a certain message, whether it is affecting the brand that they are working for, whether it is contradictory, or whether it's in alignment. So because eventually through these employees, it's also like a make or break situation for the employees, how they are probably putting up a post, what is it that they uh, uh, you know present on their post. It also creates a huge impact. So that's one element in the brand representation. Then, when we speak about the clarity and the consistency and the commitment that an employee has in terms of their interaction, that is not just with the customers but also across the organization. How is it that they interact? That is also something that is going to create a huge uh, that's also a very very important element in creating the employee experience. And this is somewhere which leads into building a complete employee experience and a culture, which is something which is not just for today, but it's a long lasting, it's something that you start sowing now, so that it starts reaping you benefits in the long run. So here, if even certain elements which becomes crucial, especially when we were talking about in the social media presence, branding of the employees through storytelling. So there are so many people who put up their success stories, their experience in working of a in a certain brand. It definitely helps for others to look forward for working towards that organization. And for the organization, it's like attracting the correct set of people, the correct set of talent, which would add to the growth of the organization. When there are certain employee recognition factors which are there, where where definitely the employee, when you recognize them, when you reward them, there is a tremendous motivational, the employee definitely feels a lot of motivated, uh, because the work that he's doing is acknowledged. There is a sort of, uh, I can say, a healthy competition which has been created. At the same time, a small recognition also boosts the morale of an employee when you're there. So that this is also somewhere where the positioning becomes very very stronger. And through the social media platforms, where certain employee could be featured for a certain work that they are doing, or probably a certain experience that they created for the customers, or probably it could be also like where working on certain parameters has helped them in reducing a huge cost, or probably has cut down on a lot of things, or probably working on certain processes which were redundant, and someone from the staff member itself has created something which eventually helped to make this process better. So all these are certain things which through employee branding you give that channel to the employees. And when you feature them, when these employees, they tell their stories, and through the social media platforms, that they get recognized, and their success stories are displayed on various platforms, through on the websites. It is it's something where an employee feels immense pride. At the same time, people who look at such torch bearers are people who have been doing consistent efforts, good efforts, or also someone, there is a healthy culture which gets created in the organization. So that's related in the employee branding story. Apart from this, there is, if I have to speak about the internal communication that happens, or the external communication, one of the tool which is evident for employee branding is also the email. Yes. So email, in fact, if I say, is a very underestimated tool, which most of the time organization feel it's merely just for sending a sort of communication or to and fro interaction that happens on a daily basis. However, if you use this tool in a structured manner, if you use this tool in a strategic manner, this also creates a huge impact, and there is a lot of clarity and a huge it's a win-win situation that you can create, not just for the employees but also for the customers. And through your emails you also formulate, like, this is an expected outcome that you can look for, which, if you when you use this tool, this is one of the tool about where we have so many other business communication tools. This also is becomes very, very crucial. So yes, the other parameter now, especially which we have seen this, that during the crisis, especially now here, all of us are going through this pandemic period where we have seen a lot of employees getting laid off from the organizations, a lot of people facing a lot of crunch, ups and downs. Yes, these are part and parcel of which are there, but eventually organization who stands firmly with their employees, maybe few things would get impacted, but ensuring, because of the time and energy and the efforts that your employees have invested, and they have stood with you in the organization. Because of them, now today, it's a global downfall that we are going through. It's not something that we could probably put a blame on the employees and just probably some organization where they start removing employees. It would not be a correct approach, because this is eventually going to create a huge dent on your brand, where you have invested so many things and creating that customer experience, but your employee experience is getting hampered. So it's very important to come up with new solutions, to brainstorm ideas, and to think about out of the box experience, that how is it that we can work on certain things and retain all our employees, at the same time ensuring that we are giving equal opportunities, and creating the strong employee branding culture for all the employees who are there, and ensuring that we are there with you. That is something which is required during the crisis period. So this is a little brief, in terms of the employee branding concept. Any questions or anything that we would like to have? If you have want to ask anything, I would be happy to address it. So
Sure,
I
Rupali.
have done a lot of talking from my end now.
I know, Rupali. Yeah. So can we have the stop screen share from your end so that
Yes,
we can
absolutely.
discuss
I'll
it
do
and
that.
take it forward?
Sure.
So, my dear viewers, I just would like to tell you that I'm gonna, wind the entire session of today by, sharing with you three things. Number one, that I would like to share with all of you is that there are two types of knowledge that we generally come across. That is something that I've learned from my gurus, my mentors. Number one type of knowledge is nice to know knowledge, wherein when you have it, when you experience it, you feel good, and that's it, right? And there are certain piece of knowledge which is need to know knowledge, right? So I would definitely like to rate today's session as a need to know knowledge. And what is going to happen is that this entire piece, this entire session is going to stay on YouTube, so you can go there, and I assure you that Rupali also would be sharing it on multiple platforms. After this session, she would be checking on our YouTube channel, and if you have put any comments or questions, she would definitely be there to answer and connect with all of you. And that's the whole purpose, and that's why we have created this free India's biggest knowledge sharing series. And just like these 7 sessions, after 2 days, that would be 23rd we would be having our another expert coming with another session. So this was point number one. Point number two that I would like to make out here is that you know there was a chunk where she talked about the importance of email, and I just would like to tell you that more than this, the session that you have now experienced, very in-depth knowledge that you can get on email etiquettes. There's a beautiful program, a very impactful program that has been created by Rupali Gautam on our Metaversity platform. So you can download the Metaversity application, and even you can go to metaversity.in and can be benefited from this program. So that is there. And Rupali, lastly, the third thing, I have a very small question for you, if you may permit me.
Yes, yes, please. I would be happy.
So, yeah, so the question is that what is the plan for uh, a special day today?
So, I mean, in what context that would be?
So, okay. So if I have been given an information in our group in a proper manner, today is a special day of yours. Am I correct?
I'm really confused here.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So we'll connect over this on offline. Fair. So the point is that there are times when you actually put forward your employees to create their own brand and in turn create the brand of the organization, on which Rupali has shared some beautiful aspects, right, and some beautiful insights. So I would like to urge each and every viewers, because generally Rupali इसमें ऐसा होता है कि जब भी हम YouTube पे live करते हैं, so viewership comes later on because not everybody is joining right there and then. So the more we share and spread it, the more we get the viewership. It's like that. But the best part is that it stays there and it becomes easy for all of us, for the viewers as well as for the experts to share the link very easily. So that's why we have opted for YouTube thing. So for all my viewers, thank you very much for staying tuned and supporting us. I just would like to share with you that with this seventh session, our viewership has gone to about 400 plus in terms of our videos that we are putting in, the live sessions that we are putting in, and I think it is going to get a very good top up after this wonderful session of Rupali Gautam. So thank you very much, Rupali, and
Thank you so much.
yeah. So with this, we are just winding up today's session, और मिलते हैं अगले 3 दिनों में with another faculty of